Hi everyone, let's get straight into today's story. Here we go. Department for Work and Pensions 51 million pounds contract stops Citizens Advice Bureau from speaking out against universal credit. The story was published on the 20th of August 2019 and it's from the Canary newspaper. Here we go. New evidence shows that a £51 million contract between DWP and Citizens Advice Bureau (CAB) contains a gagging clause. As universal credit rolls out across the UK, this agreement means the UK's leading advisory charity now can't speak out or take any actions which might harm the DWP's reputation. Social welfare activist Frank Zola forced details of the secret agreement using a Freedom of Information (FOI) request. The response revealed that the DWP paid £39 million to CAB and £12 million to CAB Scotland or Citizens Advice Scotland (CAS). As Disability News Service (DNS) reported, the agreement means that CA in England and Scotland cannot take any actions which unfairly bring or are unlikely to unfairly bring the DWP's name or reputation into disrepute. This evidence has huge implications. As the Canary has documented for some time, universal credit destroys lives. It's already forced people to use food banks and made others homeless. Citizen Advice is one of the best placed frontline services to understand these issues. A pilot scheme for a process called managed migration started in July of 2019. So more people than ever need Citizen Advice service or advice, and most people assume it's entirely independent. As Zola noted, the evidence of a gagging clause in the contract raises serious concerns. The Citizen Advice should exist to offer truly independent advice and guidance, because as Zola also told DNS, CA exists to help and advise some of the most vulnerable people in the United Kingdom. Those punished as in quotes, by the Conservative government's universal credit policy include disabled people and families who have ended up losing thousands of pounds by claiming universal credit, vast rises in debt, rent arrears, evictions, survival crime, 5-week delays in first payment, and the horror of its inbuilt benefit sanctions and excessive conditionality. Despite previous denials, Citizen Advice did confirm its agreement with DWP, including the rescue clause. DNS reported that it claimed this didn't affect CAB's ability to publicly criticize DWP. In a statement, Chief Executive of CA, Chief Executive Gillian Guy, said there's nothing in the grant agreement to prevent it from raising evidence publicly about the impact of universal credit. Guy claims Citizen Advice continue to highlight where improvements can be made to the universal credit system. She also said, yet see Citizen Advice. Sorry, I think I skipped a bit there, sorry. She also said Citizen Advice is and always will be totally independent from government. Yet Citizen Advice is one of the frontline organizations best placed to campaign to scrap universal credit entirely. Many campaigners feel that suggesting improvement simply doesn't go far enough. As activist Dr. J. Watts pointed out, it's vital that people feel able to approach Citizen Advice because it should provide a vital service in desperate times. Yet, what's continued, for it to accept this money equates to making a pact with the devil. It limits the CA's capacity to speak out against the same policies that cause despair for people who seek advice. Let's see if there's a bit more. Rick Burgess from Manchester's Disabled People Against Cuts also said, at a time when the DWP is engaged in massive and ongoing human rights abuse, for the supposed citizens advice organization to be tied into a legal and financial relationship with the abusers is catastrophic for CA's integrity and for people who need defending from the DWP and for open democratic oversight government policy. Despite the CA's claims, the gang includes a massive betrayal. As Zola pointed out, services delivered and funded by DWP are fundamentally tainted by association to so many grotesque government policies and avoidable deaths. Zola also pointed out a vitally important question asking how this dodgy underhand multi-million grant came about. Did the DWP approach its advice on an unsolicited basis? And who decided the remit and scope of UC Universal Support Service? As the DWP pushes its devastating policies forward, this deal highlights just how far it's prepared to go to hide the truth. That truth is literally killing people and starving children. The CA should be ashamed of themselves. Wow, honestly, I can't believe this. The fact that Citizen Advice would sign an agreement with the Department for Work and Pensions that they won't criticize it. They won't criticize its policy in exchange for some money. Everyone should be outraged by this. Everyone should protest against the DWP. Everyone should say Citizen Advice is an independent service that needs to be there for all the people, that needs to be independent from the government and help the people, because Citizen Advice is one of the most, it used to be anyway, the most important organization in people's life. It's where people used to go to fight the benefit system, to fight for their rights, to fight the government officials, not physical fights, but you know what I mean. And the fact that now Citizen Advice is joining hands with these people is just, it's very worrying. I mean, where are we gonna go? Where's people like us gonna go? It's really disturbing. This is. And the article says that the Citizen Advice first denied this, and then they publicly came out and said, "Yeah, we accept the deal," and they tried to say, "Well, yeah, you know, we're allowed to criticize this universal credit." They haven't stopped us. Of course, they are going to say that, but you just wait and watch. After a while, there's going to come a time where they'll slowly stop criticizing universal credit because of the money that they've just been given. Now, I understand, you know, Citizen Advice Bureau is a charity. They need money to survive. I get that. They need to pay staff. They need equipment. That's all fine and dandy. But they should not be bullied into such a position where they are not allowed to criticize universal credit. I mean, does the government admit the universal credit is that bad that they have to bribe Citizen Advice Bureau to keep quiet about it? That should raise alarm bells for a lot of people. To me, it does feel like that. It does feel like that the government is saying, "Oh crap, Citizen Advice is making people against universal credit. Let's give them hush money." And that's what this is. It's bribery. It's hush money. It's, you know, keep your mouth shut. And here's £51 million. But keep your mouth shut. Don't let the public be aware of what we're doing to them. How could you? That's grotesque. Anyway, I'll just some key parts have stood out in the article, and I just look for them. Just bear with me. I want to do a bit again where the citizen advice first denies this and then they admit it, so this hold on. Yeah, so there was previous denial. Then citizen advice did confirm its agreement with the DWP, including the rescue clause. Yeah. So they are claiming that citizen advice can still publicly criticize DWP, but as I mentioned, that after a little while, there's gonna come a time where they'll stop criticizing it. This is just to show the public that we're still on your side. No one's gonna carry on criticizing the person that's giving them money. They might do it once or twice, but they'll stop. They'll stop doing this. And the article said that CA will still suggest improvements. That's not enough to just suggest improvements. Take a stand. I can't believe that citizen advice has been sold out. Even I agree that they should be ashamed of themselves. We know what universal credit has done to many people. You know, people have had to use food banks, people have had to use charity shops more often, people have been made homeless, disabled people have had their disability benefits cut. It used to be on the old system where you'd have like a disability element, but that's been taken away. Now everybody has to go to a work capability assessment, and only then if you pass that you have to go to the meaning test, the meaning assessment, and only if you pass that then they'll give you some money. And that should not be happening in 2019. I mean, if anybody wants proof that bribery does happen behind closed doors, this is it. This is the proof. You know, share this video, share this podcast, share this article that I'll link in the description box below. Get this out there. You know, name and shame these people. Name and shame. Again, I do agree that the CA does need money to survive. That money should not hold you from speaking out what the truth is. That should not hold you from speaking out the truth. And the government should be ashamed of themselves. They know how bad universal credit is. That's why they're telling CA to keep quiet about it. They know. I wonder how these people sleep at night. I really wish I know the answer to that. Maybe they drug themselves at night. Who knows? You know, people used to trust citizen advice. We thought it was independent, but clearly after today, no matter how many times they say, yeah, we are independent, I don't think they are independent anymore. They can't be after this. They just can't. There's one other bit that I wanted to read about how this meeting took place. Was it even solicited? Just hold on, guys. Yeah, so Zola asks how this deal how this dodgy underhand multi-million grant came about. Did the DWP approach citizen advice on an honest basis? And who decided to remit and scope of the Universal Support Service, Universal Credit, I guess you can say there. Yeah, so I'm guessing that they met in private, because it doesn't say how this meeting even took place. So I'm guessing officials met in private and said, you know, you're giving us a really bad reputation. We know universal credit doesn't work. We already know that, but you need to keep quiet. And here's some hush money. And don't criticize us too much. Don't speak out the truth too much. You are our bitch now. That's what must have happened. Universal credit is in real life killing people and starving people. Though I watched a YouTube video a few days back. I'll link it in the description box below of a guy who I believe he slit his throat because he had to wait 5 weeks with no money for universal credit. That's how bad things have gone. That's how bad universal credit is. And citizen advice, you should really be ashamed of yourself, seriously. You should really be ashamed of yourself. I'm going to leave it at that, and thank you so much for listening today.